I'm currently saving up to go to America, and this is the don'ts when visiting America. This can be very useful to me. Not that I'll do anything bad, of course, but let's get into it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure...
I feel like it goes without saying. Like, I feel like that's the same everywhere you kind of go.
You give them a little distance when you are there, you know? Because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going? All this stuff. And my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were...
That might not be good for me. How am I going to get around when I'm in the US? I guess I'll just have to take Ubers everywhere. That'd be expensive though. It's already going to be a budget trip.
And throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of times...
I guess that kind of makes sense because the US is so massive. Like, having public transport that can go everywhere would just be crazy. Like, it's reasonable here in the UK because you can rely on transport here in the UK. But I guess the UK could be D in the size of Chicago, so...
Small towns, especially in middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a...
I've got to rent a car. Don't worry, I do have a driving license. I would love to rent a car in the US, actually. But that would be expensive at all. By the way, can I quickly say, having a house on the lake like that and having your own small boat and like a jet ski... bucket list for me, dream. That looks so cool.
Heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, you know, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I'm going to do, you know, go to from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S.
You know what? If I didn't start this channel before I went to the US, I would have felt guilty to this. I wouldn't have thought the US is as big as it is. I'll be like, you know what, no, we can get to New York to LA in a day. Of course we can. It's just across the country. How big can the country be? But no, it is massive. Well, I guess you're gonna fly there. How long is the flight from New York to LA actually? Flight from New York to LA. How many hours? 6 hours. So you technically good, but I'm talking about driving. By the way, I'd love to get a Sprinter van and like just travel all the way across the US. That'd be so. These are bucket list. We need to start a channel bucket list. So yeah. In the comments, let me know what else I should do. That'll be really cool.
I mean, a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to LA. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, oh, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, you know, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home. Just for lunch. 6 hours in the car.
Wait, what is that? Is that a crop dust thing? Oh my god, from the movie Planes. Those of you that seen that movie, best movie of all time.
No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the US we have sales tax. I know other countries they have VAT, value added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the US it is not like that. We have sales tax. So
I didn't think of that. With the price on the counter, that's not the actual price you pay at the till, because you got tax added on after. I forgot. I did not know that, really. I mean, I kind of knew that, but I forgot about that. So that's useful.
Certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel, because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's,
quickly, that is it crater is absolutely. Is that from like an asteroid here or something?
Or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is
tipping on top. But you've got a tip in a supermarket. Am I dumb? Sorry, do you need to tip like the cashier in the supermarket? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, wait, do you? I'm asking you in the comments here. Like, do you have to like tip the supermarket workers? That's crazy. I definitely don't know that.
Don't forget to tip. Look, in the US, you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that.
I need to make sure I don't forget that, because when I go to America, I don't want to risk like being that idiot didn't tip me. I hate him. Yeah, I've got to remember the tip. Yeah, I'm hoping to make a lot of friends in America and not get a bunch of angry waiters on me.
Look, when you come to the US, there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the US. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the US, so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're gonna wanna tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the US. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the US, the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes.
I'm sorry, Brit, this is just making me so excited to go to America. I just want to, mate, this is just getting me more excited, like crazy. Like, by the way, guys, I also want to quickly say a massive shout out to everyone who has actually like supported me so far, because we have actually had a few donations from amazing people, either by doing like them super chats in the comments, donations when I'm doing my YouTube live streams, and also some PayPal donations as well. So we're probably a solid like 5% of the way to getting our trip to America now, which is getting pretty exciting.
It can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be
free handcuffs if you drink or drive.
Some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the US. If you're smoking cigarettes in the US, people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you got to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you.
I forgot. I can't have a drink when I'm in America. I can't have a beer. So I'm 18, so I can drink here in the UK, no problem. I won't be able to in America. I completely forgot about that. Oh my gosh. No. I'm definitely going to forget that and walk into like an American pub and try and order a pint.
And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is, don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use, we don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system.
There's too many, like, measuring things. Why can't we just all agree there should be, like, just miles and, like, just yards or something like that?
Okay, because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is, when you do come to the US, there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now, my next don't for you is, don't assume that all the US and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the US has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is, if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions, because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And
that is definitely one thing I didn't think about, how many different, like, cultures there are within America, which I think is pretty cool.
Going on with that, I guess I would say another don't is, don't assume there's no culture in the U.S., because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston, here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Wow. Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true, because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums, like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the US, it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying how are you. Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good.
That is useful to know. I did not know that.
It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the US, it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the...
Well, that's good, because I'm not getting the best 5-star hotel anyway.
Fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the US, and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice. So don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster, and
that's one thing I'm very excited to try and make a lot of videos on, because when I go to America, I've got over 10 videos, maybe over 15 videos planned that I'm actually going to make whilst I'm out there. So the content out there will be incredible.
Clams, and oh my god, the New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my god. The food in the different regions in the US are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the US is insanely expensive, and just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right, so if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance.
That scares me. I'm going to make sure I get travel insurance.
To trip insurance, so in case you do get sick, or you do break an ankle, or you do break an arm, or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back, because healthcare here in the US is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries, when I told them the US has 50 states. And they said, no, the US has 52 states. Look, don't think the US has 52 states. The US has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the US. What are some of the don'ts you have for the US? Because I know there's more out there.
Why do people think it's 52 though? Then, because I have heard that as well. That's really confused me.
I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the US, just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of...
Don't think I'm going to Russia. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know some of the questions I asked, and I'd love to see how you are enjoying the videos and what you think I should do whilst I'm in America. Anyway, as always, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.